Dawn breaks over Pamlico Sound on February 8, 1862. Confederate sentries peer through morning fog, watching dark shapes materialize offshore. 80 Union warships emerge like ghosts. General Ambrose Burnside's amphibious invasion force approaches Roanoke Island, carrying 15,000 soldiers toward destiny. I command 2,500 defenders scattered across this marshy Carolina barrier island. My name is Henry Shaw, and I know reinforcements won't arrive. My men occupy hastily constructed earthworks facing impossible odds. Today, I choose between certain defeat and honorable sacrifice for our cause. Aboard USS Pickett, 23-year-old Thomas Mansfield grips his rifle, seasick and terrified. He's never fired at another human. Around him, thousands wait in cramped transports, waves slapping hulls. America's largest amphibious operation ever attempted begins now. His hands won't stop shaking. Consider Burnside's audacious strategy. Seize Roanoke Island, control Albemarle Sound, sever Confederate supply lines to Norfolk. This single operation could split North Carolina, threatening Richmond itself. Secretary Stanton watches from Washington, desperate for Northern victory, after months of catastrophic military failures across every theater. Shaw walks his defensive line at Ashby Harbor. 3 small forts guard the shoreline, armed with outdated cannons. Behind him, impassable swamp. Before him, endless gray ocean. Mathematics dictates his fate. These earthworks cannot withstand modern naval bombardment. He knows this with absolute certainty. Union Commodore Stephen Rowan commands the naval squadron 147 guns against Shaw's 25. Yet Rowan respects his opponent's courage. Southern gunners will fight skillfully despite overwhelming disadvantages. Today's battle tests not firepower alone, but American resolve against American determination. 8 o'clock morning, Union gunboats open fire. Shells scream overhead, exploding inside Fort Bartow. 19-year-old gunner James Cooper loads his cannon despite iron fragments whistling past. His hands shake uncontrollably. Every explosion rattles his bones. Still, Cooper fires back defiantly into the smoke. You watch Union shells destroy Confederate positions systematically. Fort Bartow's walls crumble under relentless bombardment. Smoke obscures everything. Wounded men scream for medics who cannot reach them through this inferno. Yet Southern gunners maintain disciplined fire, refusing surrender. Honor demands resistance against impossible odds. Burnside orders landing operations. Flat-bottomed boats filled with blue-coated soldiers push toward Ashby's Harbor beach. Confederate riflemen open fire from concealed positions. Bullets splash water around approaching troops. America's first amphibious assault begins under murderous crossfire. The beach runs red almost immediately. I jump into waist-deep freezing water, struggling toward shore. My friend beside me suddenly collapses, shot through the chest. I keep moving forward mechanically, feet sinking into muddy bottom. Terror and duty propel me simultaneously. Around me, men fall screaming. I don't look back. Union soldiers establish beachhead despite fierce resistance. Brigadier General Jesse Reno leads the 51st Pennsylvania Infantry inland through dense maritime forest. Every tree potentially hides enemy sharpshooters. His men advance cautiously, expecting ambush. The swampy terrain favors defenders, slowing Northern progress significantly. Shaw realizes his situation grows increasingly desperate. Union forces establish firm foothold. His ammunition runs critically low. Reinforcements from mainland cannot possibly arrive. Shaw faces an agonizing decision: retreat immediately or defend until overwhelmed completely. Southern honor wars with practical military judgment inside his mind. Burnside's main force pushes inland toward Confederate defensive works protecting the island's narrow waist. General John Foster's brigade encounters a 3-gun battery defended by determined Southern infantry. The crucial battle begins here, in muddy fields between opposing armies. Brothers prepare to kill brothers. Confederate defenders occupy carefully prepared positions. Earthworks blocking the single road northward, flanked by impassable swamps. Shaw positioned his strongest regiments here. If Union forces break through, nothing prevents complete island capture. Everything depends on holding this fortification against overwhelming numbers pouring forward relentlessly. Union artillery bombards Confederate positions relentlessly. Trees splinter under shell fire. Earth geysers skyward. Southern soldiers crouch low in trenches, enduring punishment they cannot return effectively. Their limited ammunition must be conserved for close-range defense. They wait grimly for the inevitable infantry assault coming soon. Foster orders his regiments forward. Blue lines advance through open ground toward Confederate earthworks. Southern rifles erupt simultaneously. Union soldiers fall in rows, cut down by disciplined volleys. Foster's men keep advancing, stepping over fallen comrades, pressing closer through this killing field, despite devastating casualties. Among Confederate defenders stands Sergeant William Etheridge, a local man fighting to protect his home. His wife and children live just miles away. Etheridge knows Union occupation means losing everything: land, livelihood, freedom itself. He fires methodically. Each shot defends more than military position. Across the battlefield, Union Captain Henry Holt leads Company K forward. Holt believes passionately in preserving the Union, ending slavery's moral stain. Each Confederate bullet represents treason against America's founding principles. He charges forward, shouting encouragement, sword raised high, absolutely convinced of righteousness. 2 Americans, Etheridge defending homeland, Holt attacking for principle, embody their nation's tragedy. Neither man is evil. Both fight courageously for deeply held beliefs. Their personal stories mirror the larger conflict. Honest men killing honest men over irreconcilable visions of America's future collide violently here. You witness Union forces flanking Confederate positions through supposedly impassable swamp. Soldiers wade through chest-deep freezing water, maintaining formation despite extreme difficulty. This maneuver surprises Southern defenders completely. Shaw's careful defensive planning collapses as Yankees appear where geography promised protection. His flanks crumble instantly. Confederate resistance crumbles rapidly once Union troops break through. Southern soldiers face encirclement. Many throw down weapons, surrendering to overwhelming numbers. Others attempt escape through marshes. Shaw's organized defense dissolves into chaos within minutes. The island's fate is decided. Everything Shaw built collapses. I ordered general retreat toward the island's northern end. My command disintegrates amid confusion. Units become separated. Officers lose contact with their men. Wounded soldiers cry for help from both armies. My organized defense becomes desperate flight through unfamiliar terrain. I failed them all. By late afternoon, Confederate resistance effectively ends. Shaw recognizes further fighting produces only useless casualties. He surrenders remaining forces to Burnside. 2,500 soldiers become prisoners. Union forces capture 40 cannons, 3,000 rifles, and control of strategically vital Roanoke Island itself. Union casualties total 96 killed, wounded, or missing. Confederate losses reach similar combat numbers, plus the entire garrison captured. Burnside achieves complete victory at relatively modest cost. This amphibious operation demonstrates Northern military capability, boosting morale dramatically after previous devastating Union defeats elsewhere. Mansfield survives his first battle. He walks among Confederate prisoners, seeing frightened boys wearing gray instead of blue. They look remarkably similar to his own comrades. Mansfield realizes these enemies are simply Americans choosing different loyalty. The recognition troubles him profoundly, shaking everything he believed. Burnside's victory opens North Carolina Sounds to Union control. Federal forces soon capture New Bern, Beaufort, and other coastal towns. Confederate supply lines to Virginia are severed permanently. This single amphibious operation changes the war's strategic situation throughout the entire region dramatically and irreversibly. For captured Confederates, imprisonment awaits at northern camps. Sergeant Etheridge marches aboard transport ships, hands bound, leaving his homeland occupied by enemy forces. His wife must survive under Union military government. Etheridge wonders if he'll ever return home, ever embrace his children again. Union occupation transforms Roanoke Island. Federal authorities establish military government. Escaped slaves flee to Union lines seeking freedom. The island becomes refuge for thousands of formerly enslaved people. Northern victory here directly impacts slavery's institution, fulfilling Captain Holt's passionate beliefs about this war's moral purpose. Burnside becomes Northern hero overnight. Newspapers praise his brilliant amphibious assault. President Lincoln needs military successes desperately after recent disasters. This victory provides much-needed morale boost for Union cause. Burnside's reputation soars, leading eventually to higher command and future devastating defeats at Fredericksburg. Consider Confederate authorities recognizing Roanoke Island's loss seriously damages their strategic position. General Robert E. Lee acknowledges this defeat threatens Virginia's security. The South cannot afford losing coastal strongholds. Yet Confederate resources remain stretched impossibly thin, defending everywhere simultaneously against superior Northern forces. Roanoke Island represents revolutionary military operation. Never before had America attempted such massive amphibious assault. Burnside coordinates naval bombardment, troop landings, and inland advance brilliantly. His success demonstrates modern combined arms warfare potential, foreshadowing 20th century amphibious operations like Normandy generations later. The operation's logistical complexity staggers imagination. 80 ships transport 15,000 soldiers, plus artillery, ammunition, supplies, horses. Everything must be coordinated precisely. Tide schedules, naval fire support, landing craft deployment. One mistake produces catastrophic failure instead of triumphant victory. Burnside executes flawlessly, yet human cost cannot be ignored. Nearly 200 Americans become casualties in this single day's fighting. Thousands more face imprisonment, hardships. Families mourn lost sons, husbands, fathers. Victory celebration rings hollow for those grieving personal losses behind the strategic triumph celebrated in newspapers. Control of Roanoke Island allows Union blockade to tighten around Confederate coast. Southern commerce suffers immediately. Vital supplies cannot reach besieged ports. The Confederacy's ability to wage war diminishes incrementally with each coastal loss. Each Union victory accelerates the South's economic strangulation through naval superiority. For enslaved people throughout North Carolina, Burnside's victory offers hope. Union military presence means potential freedom. Thousands escape plantations, seeking federal protection. Roanoke Island becomes symbol of liberation. The war's moral dimension ending slavery becomes increasingly undeniable reality throughout occupied Confederate territories across the South. Confederate morale suffers from Roanoke Island's loss. Southern newspapers cannot hide in this significant defeat. Citizens question their government's ability to defend homeland. Military setbacks compound political tensions. The Confederacy's psychological resilience faces serious challenge after such highly visible amphibious assault failure broadcasted nationwide. I write my mother describing battle experiences. I struggle explaining what combat actually feels like. The terror, confusion, exhaustion, guilt. I realize I've fundamentally changed. Innocents died at Roanoke Island. I'm now a veteran soldier, hardened by violence, forever separated from civilian life I once knew. Captured Sergeant Etheridge endures prison camp conditions at Point Lookout, Maryland. Disease spreads rapidly among crowded Confederate prisoners. Etheridge survives by maintaining hope of eventual return home. He dreams of reunion with his wife, children. These dreams sustain him through imprisonment's daily degradations and suffering. Captain Holt receives promotion for gallantry at Roanoke Island. Yet victory feels incomplete. The war continues endlessly ahead. Holt recognizes achieving Union victory requires years more fighting, thousands more deaths. His initial patriotic enthusiasm confronts war's grim reality. Duty compels him forward despite growing disillusionment. While Burnside captures Roanoke Island, other battles rage elsewhere. General Ulysses Grant prepares attacking Fort Henry and Fort Donelson in Tennessee. Confederate forces defend positions throughout multiple theaters simultaneously. Roanoke Island represents merely one piece within the war's vast, complex strategic puzzle unfolding across continent. Lincoln studies maps in the White House war room. Each Union victory, however modest, brings eventual Confederate defeat slightly closer. Roanoke Island demonstrates Northern advantages, superior numbers, industrial capacity, naval power, overwhelming Southern resistance. Lincoln believes time favors Union cause if Northern resolve remains absolutely firm. Jefferson Davis faces opposite calculations. Each Confederate defeat weakens Southern position incrementally. Roanoke Island's loss compounds previous setbacks across multiple fronts. Davis must maintain civilian morale, foreign recognition hopes, military effectiveness despite diminishing resources. The Confederacy's survival depends on prolonging conflict, exhausting Northern will entirely. Roanoke Island battle showcases naval artillery's devastating effectiveness against fixed fortifications. Modern rifled cannons destroy earthworks previously considered adequate defense. Military engineers recognize coastal forts require fundamental redesign. The war accelerates military technology evolution, rendering previous defensive strategies obsolete rapidly and completely. Amphibious operations complexity demands unprecedented coordination between Army and Navy branches. Burnside and Rowan collaborate closely, establishing effective joint command structure. Their success proved inter-service cooperation's crucial importance. Future military operations increasingly require such integration across different armed forces' specialized capabilities and equipment. Communication challenges plague both sides during battle. Commanders lose contact with subordinate units amid combat's chaos. Orders arrive late or garbled beyond recognition. Battles develop unpredictably beyond headquarters control. Technology hasn't yet solved battlefield communications problems plaguing military operations since warfare's ancient beginning millennia ago. Northern newspapers celebrate Roanoke Island victory extensively. Harper's Weekly publishes dramatic illustrations showing Union troops storming Confederate positions heroically. Public hunger for military success makes Burnside instant celebrity nationwide. Media coverage shapes public perception more powerfully than battlefield reality itself ever could. Southern newspapers minimize defeat's significance while attacking incompetent Confederate commanders publicly. Blame shifting begins immediately after news arrives. Citizens demand explanations why outnumbered garrison couldn't withstand Union assault. Media criticism undermines public confidence in Confederate military leadership, creating political tensions beyond purely military consequences. War correspondents accompany Union forces, sending dispatches describing battle details vividly. Their reporting brings war's reality into Northern homes. Civilians read accounts of specific engagements, individual heroism, battlefield suffering. Media transforms distant military operations into immediate national drama affecting everyone, creating unprecedented public engagement. Field hospitals overflow with wounded soldiers from both armies. Military surgeons work frantically amid inadequate supplies, primitive anesthesia, limited medical knowledge. Amputation remains standard treatment for serious limb wounds. Many soldiers survive battle only to die afterward from infection, gangrene, disease spreading through crowded facilities. Union Medical Corps improvises treatment facilities in captured Confederate buildings. Wounded enemies receive care alongside Union casualties. Army doctors recognize suffering transcends political allegiance completely. Medical personnel demonstrate humanity amid warfare's inhumanity, treating all wounded soldiers as patients requiring compassionate professional care, regardless of uniform color. You must understand, disease kills more soldiers than combat throughout the Civil War. Roanoke Island's swampy environment breeds malaria, dysentery, typhoid fever. Crowded military camps lack sanitary facilities. Soldiers lack understanding of germ theory, hygiene's importance. Invisible microbes prove deadlier than Confederate bullets ever could. Union military government establishes control over Roanoke Island's civilian population. Federal authorities must maintain order, provide basic services, manage thousands of escaped slaves seeking protection. Occupation forces face administrative challenges far beyond their military training or previous experience managing civilian populations under hostile conditions. Local civilians navigate complicated loyalty questions daily. Some residents welcome Union presence secretly, others resist bitterly. Many simply try surviving regardless of which army controls their homeland. Occupation creates daily dilemmas requiring impossible choices between competing allegiances, practical survival needs, and deeply held personal principles. Freedmen's communities form around Union encampments. Former slaves build settlements, establish schools, create new lives from nothing. Roanoke Island becomes laboratory for post-slavery society. These early experiments foreshadow Reconstruction's later challenges, reconstructing entire Southern society without slavery's foundational institution supporting economic structure. Burnside's career trajectory changes dramatically after Roanoke Island. His amphibious success leads to command of Army of the Potomac. Later, catastrophic defeat at Fredericksburg destroys his reputation permanently. One battle's success cannot predict future performance. Warfare remains unpredictable, victory fleeting, reputation fragile. Shaw eventually gains release through prisoner exchange. He returns to Confederate service, fighting throughout the war's remaining brutal years. Shaw survives multiple battles but never forgets Roanoke Island, the moment his carefully prepared defenses collapsed before overwhelming Union force. The memory haunts him nightly. I serve throughout the entire war. I fight at Antietam, Fredericksburg, Gettysburg. Roanoke Island remains my first battle, forever marking my transition from civilian to soldier. I survived the war physically intact but emotionally scarred by 4 years accumulated trauma that never truly heals. Roanoke Island demonstrates Union strategies' effectiveness, simultaneous pressure on multiple Confederate fronts. Southern forces cannot defend everywhere adequately with limited resources. Each Union victory, coastal captures, river operations, overland campaigns compounds Confederate strategic difficulties exponentially. The North's superior resources gradually overwhelm Southern resistance completely. European powers watch Roanoke Island battle carefully. British and French governments consider recognizing Confederate independence diplomatically. Union victories discourage foreign intervention decisively. Burnside's success demonstrates Northern military competence, reducing European confidence in Confederate viability. International diplomacy hinges partly on battlefield outcomes across ocean. The battle's racial dimensions cannot be ignored. Union occupation directly enables thousands of enslaved people's escape to freedom. Military operations increasingly intertwine with slavery's destruction. Roanoke Island proves war's purpose, evolves beyond constitutional questions toward fundamental social transformation, transforming America forever. Decades later, veterans from both armies gather at Roanoke Island for reunion ceremonies. Former enemies shake hands, sharing memories of youth's violence. Old soldiers recognize their shared experience transcends former political divisions. Reconciliation becomes possible only after war's passions cool, memories soften with time. Historians debate Roanoke Island's significance within Civil War's larger narrative endlessly. Some emphasize strategic importance. Others note relatively modest casualties compared to later battles. The operation represents a crucial moment demonstrating Union amphibious capability, opening North Carolina Sounds to federal control permanently. Local communities preserve battlefield sites, erect monuments, maintain historical memory carefully. Tourism develops around Civil War heritage sites. Roanoke Island becomes an educational site where Americans learn about their nation's most traumatic conflict. Memory serves contemporary purposes, shaping present understanding through selective interpretation of past. Consider February 8, 1862. 80 Union warships, 15,000 soldiers, 1 amphibious assault. Burnside's operation succeeds brilliantly, capturing Roanoke Island in a single day. Yet this military victory represents merely one battle within 4 years, devastating national trauma, requiring generations healing afterward. Today, waves still lap against Roanoke Island shores, where Mansfield waited ashore terrified, where Etheridge defended his homeland desperately, where Holt fought for Union passionately. The water remembers nothing of blood spilled. Only we remember, struggling to understand how Americans once killed Americans over nation's soul.